Welcome to Lori Tries Life. I'm Lori, and thank you so much for joining me. I have an agenda today, so we can do this thing properly. I want to show you a few things that I received in the mail. I want to quickly go over some of the things that I've noticed about a tarot deck, a couple tarot decks in particular that I like and don't like. Maybe of some help if you're wanting to buy it. I also want to cover the hashtag, Lord help me, the hashtag or the VR tag of which cards you would invite into your bedroom. And it was a very insightful exercise. So I encourage you to do it whether you film it or not. That's up to you. And I wanted to give a couple shout outs to people who've really helped me lately and or who've made my day. So we're going to go with that. So let's get started. I'm going to cover my agenda items, but I'm going to intermingle them, kind of go in and out, if that's okay. Okay, so my first shout out is to John Ballentrae. He has a YouTube channel. It's JOHNBALLANTRAE, and I've watched him for several years, and I just think we don't know each other personally. I've left comments, and he has really compassionately and intelligently covered my question. So I thank him for that. But I'm just a smitten kitten. I love this guy. He knows his stuff. He is unapologetic, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I apologize constantly all day. Like, I'd bump into a tree or a chair and I'll apologize. I'll say I'm sorry. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy. And I know some people do that too. I know that I need to be more mindful because I don't need to continually react in an apologetic mode when I didn't do anything wrong, or when what I did was unintentional or to inanimate objects, if there is such a thing. So I like that he just comes on. He knows his stuff, and if he forgets a point, he just barrels on. He doesn't apologize. It doesn't look like he is anxious or upset about it. He's also just such a compassionate guy. He's a really good teacher of the tarot. A good teacher uses analogies, metaphors, stories. He uses even visualizing settings to convey a message, and it relates to the tarot, but it also relates to your life. And I really appreciate him getting out there. He doesn't have to, come on and you know, his latest, the tarot process. He doesn't have to do that. I don't think he does. I don't think he's contracted to do that. But he's very generous with his time and his talent and his skill and his insight. And I just want to say thank you to him. Thank you for answering my question so beautifully. And I'm a smitten kitten. I just am. You're the tops. So okay. Next. Okay, so one of my acquisitions was Tarot of the Mystical Moments. And I don't think I've done a walkthrough on this, but it is so lovely. The imagery is surreal. The cards are larger than a normal tarot deck, but it is worth the money. It has this silver gilding, which I know many people don't like gilding anymore. It can be problematic if it's not quality. And I urge you, this is another shout out to Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot. She actually trimmed, can you imagine? Trimmed the gilding off of this, the silver gilding off of this, and it looks amazing. I encourage you to go on over to her channel. I'll link her below. But I have nothing to say about this deck but good things. Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Wells Stein. And I too don't care for the gilding. I think I would need the keywords though to go through the deck and to read it intelligently. I would at least need the keywords, but I can't do trimming. Oh my goodness. The precision that it takes to do it correctly. Dawn Michelle from Boho Tarot does it beautifully. And this is such a beautiful deck. I would love to have the silver off of it and have some better edging on it. So nothing but sheer joy. So it's on Amazon, and I believe it's not that expensive. Look at that. So yeah, check that out. If you have the tenacity and the patience to trim it, go for it, you know. Another one that I actually did a mini walkthrough is the Wandering Star Tarot deck by Kat Pierce. Now, Kat Pierce is, of course, brilliant. Look at this book. Color, so gorgeous. I will tell you that I used it for a while, and as you know, gilded decks can chip, and these did chip, and I didn't use them for an extended period of time, and I'm not an aggressive shuffler. I don't think I'm aggressive. But at any rate, I love the images. Someone once said that it reminds them of stained glass, and I agree. It's just so colorful, so bold. They have keywords, which I don't mind. I'll tell you what I did mind after a while. If you look at the faces of the images, and they're predominantly women, which is okay, but they're very emotionless. Not totally void of emotion, but they have the same vapid look on their faces that it just, it kind of bugs me. They have that same pouty, beautiful face, which I find sometimes to be troubling in some decks because I want to be represented. I'd like to be represented in decks, and we're not all thin with beautiful faces, but they look kind of like, what is it? The, not the Valley of the Dolls, but the housewives that were mechanical. You all could tell me what that movie was. But that's what I have about that. Some of the emotional cards, some of the cards that should be full of emotion, maybe have a tear or something like that. All in all, it's a gorgeous deck. Stained glass. Look at that Queen of Cups. It's just amazing. But I really got angry. I got this internal angst about the these vapid model faces, and I just wanted to go back to my This Might Hurt deck and say, hell yeah, that's me. So next I got this little deck from More Balanced Yin and Yang Energy at Buy Real and My Lucky Card 2019. It's a bridge size. It's got some extra art cards, which I really loved. But I have little fat small hands. They didn't used to be fat, but they always used to be little. So I love decks that are either too big so I can do it by the sides, or too small so I can really give it a good shuffle. They're kind of stiff, sorry about that. But this is the deck, and I love it because it's bridge size, but also because it doesn't have any titles, numbers. I know intellectually, here's some art cards. There's Pam's Original Art Only, bridge size deck, at My Lucky Card. And there's one of the art cards. So yeah, I like small or big. I'm not so much for the traditional because I don't have the hands for it. And I like the absence of any words or numbers, because that gives me, even though I intellectually know what the card means because I've memorized them 20 years ago, it gives me the added flexibility, especially when I did this hashtag of cards I'd let into my bedroom. The fact that they were called Empress or Emperor, the fact that I could just imbue my own meaning on them was really positive, and boy, I got a lot out of that. I'm trying to be mindful of my enunciation because I'm very tired. So I got this from Mindful Souls. Came with this little pouch. It's very inexpensive. I forget how much I paid. I think less than $15. And isn't it beautiful? You know, my hand kind of shakes, so I don't know if it's higher power more so as it is my hand shaking. So that's the next thing I'll try to afford, is a stand and maybe a little mapping. So that's just something that I wanted to show you. They've got all different stones, all different colors. and they're very inexpensive. So it comes in this cute little pouch. Found my husband's keys. Looking for it for hours, then I found them. Okay, so I'm going to intermingle some of my agenda items. I want to take a shout out to Sheilah from Intuitive Tarot on YouTube. She is such a seeker, such a earnest seeker of what is happening in her life and how to best help other people through it, that I really just love her. And so check her out. Also, I think it's called the Queen's Tarot, and she is an American who does politics through a tarot scope. And she did one the other day where she never before has done this. She got into a laughing fit at politics that she does. You'll just have to see it. She got into such a laughing fit. She said the cards, she didn't use the word possess, but the cards were laughing at her answer with her. And you'll have to see it. I think it's called the Queen's Tarot. She does U.S. politics and the politics stemming worldwide. And she is kind of fascinating. And that night that I watched her laughing fit, where she said the cards kind of took over and were alive in her hands, they were, I don't know if you've ever seen them, the RWS in like fluorescent colors. I don't think that's the right word, but rainbow colors. They're just like a shining 3D colors. I don't know what deck it is, but I think it's like, you could probably find it on Wish or something like that. But you'll know when you see it. But I watched that before I went to bed, and that night I had dreams like you would not believe. And I won't go into it, but it was so insightful and so fascinating and so lucid. I got up and I wrote pages and pages of ideas that I had, those cards that were just laughing in her hands. But she's a hoot, and yeah, you'll like that if you, well, it depends on your political persuasion, but I think you should like that. Okay, without getting too serious, I want to try to get into a fun mode, because I took this VR seriously, and I don't think I should film it seriously, because then you will think, I don't know what you'll think. But the VR tag, the cards I would invite into my bedroom, was a very insightful and interesting exercise. And whether you record it or not, I recommend that you try it. So, all of the cards that I initially picked out as wanting to invite into my bedroom as a person that is well beyond the age of knowing better, I chose all the missteps that I should not have chosen. And one is this card. I have this fantasy of saving people or being saved. And that's a codependent trap. So let's just not talk any further about that. Similar with this card. And okay, so that's the saving or being saved mode. Another trap that I initially wholeheartedly leaped in on was this pretty card. And you know, the devil does not look like this. I wanted to show you the light Seers devil, which is way upstairs. Maybe I'll try and slip it in. But when the devil seduces you, he doesn't look like horns and ugly and chains. He looks like the light freaking Seers tarot devil card. You know it. Come on. But that's a trap, because this is not a healthy relationship. You know, there are other cards to pick. I think that it would be more healthy, even for a one-off. Oh boy, what have I become to? Look, my angel has fallen. Literally. Okay. All right, I am losing the cards I wanted to show you. This is another one I picked readily and then thought about it. Men that have a golden tongue, that are intelligent, that are powerful, only ends up in a narcissistic Three of Swords, Five of Cups. It's all about them. This is never going to end well, in my opinion. I love intelligence. I love seeking knowledge. But he has a tongue that slices. So no. So what are the cards that I would pick? Okay, that's a weird card to pick. But you know what? I've been through some shit in my life. And I want someone who's going to stand up for me. And I think speaks the truth. So he's definitely up there. He or she, you know, we're doing non-binary. And then way off of my chart that I would never think of, but did after healthy reflection, is the Temperance card. Boy, what a loving energy that would be, wouldn't it? And I'm getting older, so the one-off is not appealing as a healthy exchange, a healthy balance. So definitely the Temperance card is like way up there. And then the Three of Cups, they're nothing but joy and unity, friendship and love. That's an easy one. And I did have to pick I don't want to say the D word, but I kind of like a father figure. I kind of like someone who's been there, done that. He's got the power, but he's seasoned to the point that he doesn't, in my mind, he doesn't have to prove anything. Like, he doesn't have to have that wicked wit of the swords, that he's just in power and comfortable with himself and his ego, and he's going to be comfortable with me. He may teach me a few things. So, a couple honorable mentions. That's another savior card. To hell with that. Savior card, to hell with that. Hell with that. Greedy people, nope. This is another happy one I thought of. Haven't we all? The Star. I like that. So it goes along those lines. I had fun with it. I hope you did too. And I'll leave it at that. Goodness gracious, this is public. Jesus, my deity he's like Ooh, he's falling over. I'm sorry, Jesus. Okay. I think, friends, that's it. Let me check my agenda. So yeah, I covered everything except I want to give a shout out to my husband, who is an amazing man, who has been with me, gosh, I'm going to date myself, but 40 years. Let's see, 1981, when I was 14, we got together. So, you know, I've been disabled, and he has really helped, you know, do almost everything, and I owe him everything. So, thank you, my love, and good night for me to you all, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it. It's this late at night, and I'm tired. So thank you for sticking with me, and until next time, bye-bye.